So let's start to get ready for our meditation. As always, in our meditations, we'll be taking advantage of some very simple affirmations and gestures. We'll start to pay more attention to what's happening on our inner energy system. We'll start to pay attention to what's happening on our hands and start to observe those sensations. Just take note of them, not think about them too much initially. And as always, I'll be guiding us through. You don't need to memorize these affirmations or gestures at all. So let's get ready for our meditation by taking off our glasses if we wear them. If you're wearing shoes and you can take them off, I encourage you to do so you're nice and comfortable. Again, you can sit on a chair, sit on the floor, sit on the sofa, sit anywhere that you're comfortable. The only thing that will help your meditation experience is if you're sitting with your hands open in our home position, fingertips apart. So hands nice and loosely placed on the lap, fingertips apart, shoulders relaxed, our spine generally straight without being uptight, without being stiff. We should be relaxed, comfortable, and seated in such a way that we can start to ignore our physical being and pay attention to the inner happening, which is taking place within. So sitting in our home position with our palms open, fingertips apart, let's take a deep breath, breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth. It's really important when we sit down and begin our meditation that we make a conscious effort to let everything go that we're bringing with us, all of our thoughts, all of our anxiety, all of our attention on the past and the future. Let's let that all go and bring our dedicated attention into this present moment. So we'll take one more deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And in doing so, we're letting our attention be grounded in the present moment. Hopefully, we're sitting nice and comfortably. We don't really need to pay any attention to our physical being, neither what we look like, nor how we feel. None of that matters, especially not right now when our entire attention truly should be dedicated on that happening which is taking place within as we get into a meditative state. So let's focus on that inner happening as our inner energy. We are desiring for her to awaken from that dormant state, to rise up our central energy channel and culminate at the crown of the head. So we can take our hand, cup it in front of us, about an inch or two in front of our body, starting at the base of the spine. So just cupping our hand in front of us and slowly raising it up, parallel to the spine. We are desiring that our inner energy rise up and culminate at the crown of the head. And as our hand gets to the top of the head, we can take the center of the palm and gently place it on the crown of the head. And let's do that 2 more times. Just raise our inner energy and see if we can bring our focus within ourselves, focusing on our inner energy as she is awakening from that dormant state, rising up the central energy channel, focusing within our being, and then culminating, emerging out through the 7th energy center at the crown of the head. So an absolute inner happening, that energy rising up parallel to the spine, and ultimately piercing the 7th energy center at the crown of the head and culminating out. After we've raised our energy for the 3rd time, let's see what we're feeling over the top of the head. Can we already sense any energy or sensations close to or farther above the top of the head. As we want to truly get in the conducive state for meditation, let's ensure that our attention is not in a thinking place, but that we're focused on the space between our thoughts. And just observe this happening. From a place of silence, we can switch hands, bring our right hand back down to the lap, and raise our left hand up and over the top of the head, observing what we're feeling close to or farther above the top of the head. Let's truly get our attention established above the mind. Keeping our attention above the top of the head as we return our hand back down to our lap, home position. Can we sustain our attention above the crown of the head? Focusing on this space above the mind, above all mental activity, above and beyond all thoughts. Focusing on this present moment. There's no thought in this present moment, especially as we are meditating. There's nothing we need to analyze, process, or prepare for. Let's simply dive deep into this present moment and see if we can touch the silence of now. Let's help ourselves. In case we're struggling, in case we're not feeling it effortless to get into that state of silence, let's work on clearing our chakras a little as we did in our first week through some very simple affirmations and gestures. We'll start at the heart. We'll take our right hand and place it on the left side of the chest, right hand right over the heart, left side of the chest. We're focusing on the fourth energy center on the left side. And this area is connected with our inner self, our pure self, that me that is beyond our body and our mind, beyond whatever money we may have or not in the bank, beyond what car we drive, beyond what we look like, beyond if we're having a good hair day or we're feeling good, beyond everything that is physical and ultimately superficial. Let's focus on the me that is beyond our reflection in the mirror, our pure, formless self, that me that we have known from day one, that we continue to recognize when there's no light, when our eyes are closed, that me that grows and changes, but ultimately remains the same. We can say from our hearts within ourselves silently, I am not this body. I am not this mind. These things do not define me. Ultimately, I am the pure spirit. I want to get in touch with the pure self, that eternal self. I am the pure self, the pure spirit. And let's see if we can truly get in touch with that, sense that connection to our ultimate self, our formless self, that self which is always balanced, which manifests all of those perfect inherent qualities that we described. That self which is full of joy, which is strong and secure and unharmed, not guilty, forgiving, loving, full of love, absolutely generous and satisfied, and at peace. I am the pure self. As we put our attention on our pure self, it strengthens that connection to that absolute existence. Let's bring our right hand up to the left side of the neck and turn our head to the right. Right hand on the left side of the neck, turning our head to the right to open up this area. Let's let go of our guilt. We gather this up, we deposit it, and we don't clear it out. We feel guilty, we regret, we beat ourselves up. We're moving our attention beyond the past. We're letting go of everything that's holding us back. And in doing so, let's let go of our guilt. Let's stop blaming ourselves. Let's move on. So silently from our hearts, let's say, I am not guilty for anything at all. I am not guilty. I'm not going to carry that shame. I am not guilty. Let's then bring our hand up to the forehead and bend our head forward to rest our head into the palm of the right hand, relaxing our neck, relaxing our shoulders. You truly want to open up this energy center at the forehead, the sixth energy center. If we are constantly engaged in thought, thinking, critiquing, analyzing, processing, we're in thought, we're thinking, we're engaged in some form of mental activity. But when we forgive, we create this moment of silence. This gap is more easily accessed, this gap between our thoughts. So let's forgive. There's no need to hold on to anger or resentment. It doesn't change the past. Logically, we can understand that by forgiving, we may actually liberate ourselves and our own attention from being stuck in anger and resentment. So let's say from our hearts, with as much absolute conviction as we can muster, I forgive everyone. I completely forgive each and everyone without any exception, casting out this huge blanket of forgiveness. I forgive. I completely forgive everyone. And I forgive myself. We may feel that great weight lifted as we forgive. And that may help us identify the silence of this present moment. Let's hold on to that awareness, no thought, as we bring our hand back down to our lap, palms open, fingertips apart. See if we can bring our attention up and above the top of the head. We're focused on this present moment. like learning how to ride a bike. Once you get that balance, don't think about it, just do it. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the view. Enjoy that feeling of triumph as you get your attention away from all of that busy activity of the mind. Reminding ourselves whenever it's necessary that no thought matters right now. There's nothing I need to think about, nothing I need to even be aware of. I don't have to listen, I don't have to look, I don't have to react, I don't have to respond. Let me bring my entire focus within and focus on this happening as my inner energy rises up, as my attention strengthens in the state of this present moment, moving away from the past and the future and just diving deep into the silence of now as my attention gets established up and over the top of the head. No thought matters. As we did at the beginning of our meditation, let's raise our hand once again from the base of the spine to the top of the head. Right past the forehead, past all of that activity, it doesn't matter. And then bring our hand up to the crown of the head, place the center of the palm right on the top of the head on the point that was soft in our infancy, right at the center of the crown of the head. We can stretch our fingers and apply a gentle pressure to the crown of the head, gently pressing and rotating. Focusing more on giving a massage to the scalp, rotating the scalp, rather than the simple movement of our hand. So gently pressing and rotating. And as we're giving a gentle massage to the scalp, we're opening up our seventh energy center. So let's feel that desire within. I want to deepen my experience of self-realization. I want to open up this seventh energy center. I want to get deep into this state of meditation so that I can experience all of the benefits that ripple out. Let's slowly raise our hand up about an inch or two over the top of the head. Initially, exploring that space by raising our hand up and down on that axis. What do we feel close to the head? What do we feel farther above? Seeing if we can observe the sensations we're feeling above the top of the head. From a silent mental state, no thought, just observe. And we can switch hands. You may feel something different closer to the head. We may feel it different as we raise our hand farther above. We might not feel anything at all, and that's okay. If we're not feeling anything, I would recommend to go back, start again, rewatch this or any other video, and especially clear that forehead area. So again, take that right hand across the forehead and say from the heart, I forgive everyone. Really explore the depth of those words, the meaning of those words. I forgive. And slowly, that happening may increase. We may start to feel more and more up and over the top of the head. Let's now bring our hands back down so that our palms are open in front of us, our fingertips are apart. We can raise our hands up off of our lap at the level of the heart, keeping our focus above the top of the head, but also observing any sensations that might be apparent in the fingertips, on the center of the palms of the hands. Just observing without thinking about it, without letting it trigger a thought or any kind of analysis. Am I experiencing any sensations on the palms of my hands? As we observe the manifestation of this energy, the expression of this energy, let's do so from an open place, not overly doubting its potential, but also not believing it before it's actually proven itself to us. So we're just in a generalized kind of neutral scientific place, just as a scientist would be in the hypothesis stage. It's possible this can happen. And let's see what transpires. Keeping an open mind, keeping our attention in the present moment without any thought, and watching as this hypothesis carries itself out, this experiment carries itself out. Once we get into a state where we are entrenched in that silence, when we don't have any thought, if we can sustain it, that's a great time to, if we're watching a guided meditation, pause, extend that silence, and extend that state of meditation by maintaining the focus up and above the top of the head. And watch what happens as that meditation deepens and extends, and as that silence gets more apparent, as the noise fades and fades into the background. Watch what happens on the palms of the hands. Watch what happens, observe what happens up and above the top of the head. That's where we want to get in our meditative state. We want to get into that silence, do whatever it takes to get there, and then sustain that state for 5, 10, or 15 minutes. Even if it breaks, reestablish it. Get right back on that bicycle. Get right back into that strong, balanced ride. And enjoy the experience as you start to explore what happens when we're not thinking. So let's slowly bring our meditation to an end and open our eyes.